Hello. If anybody's here, I don't know if anybody's here yet. But hello anyway. I'll take $1,000. Right. I accidentally left the game running a bit last night, so some rain has decided to descend upon everything. Let's hold break and do this. You tried FS17 in 4K and it's amazing. I can't play FS17 anymore. I literally can't. I burnt out of FS17 so hard. Alex, this is the reason I've always said no, I'm not going back to it. I burnt out of FS17 so hard, I literally can't play it anymore. It irritates me. So horribly they did that too. Like, it was good for the time, and it did well for me, but I just can't. I'm very much a physics kind of player. Yeah, Derp, I'm along with you. The physics have to be good, and FS22's physics are really good. Everything else is kind of like the weirdness I can deal with. I hydrated. I had a drinky of water. Also slightly upset because SpaceX cancelled the launch today. It got moved to tomorrow. I was looking forward to 2 launches from 2 pads in 2 hours, and they moved the second one, and I'm slightly sad. You're very annoyed. Do you know what, Alex? I completely understand why you're annoyed. The small goal thing you worked? I told you! Do you know what's really annoying, Buzz? Is it would have worked for me to actually get the stream going on time, except at 4:58 I needed the toilet. Literally 2 minutes before I would have been live, pretty much on time. I was downstairs and I was like, should probably go to loo. And yeah. But setting small goals makes work much more achievable. Much easier as well. You actually make your own A320 has a slew button. Nice. You make your own motivation if you give yourself a small goal every day. Because instead of having like 5 or 6 hours of work to do, you give yourself 1 hour as a small goal, and you get the motivation to do like 4 minimum. Guess your FPS. 69. Probably 20, but I'm gonna guess 69. Six. What did you do? What did you do to anger the FPS so much? I've just realized I actually need a headland up the top here. You did nothing. Oh, good. It's gradually getting worse. It's fine before the update. Did you get rid of your like shader cache thing in game? Because I did that before and it did increase my FPS. I'm not saying it'll work for you, but it's worth giving a try. You tried that. Like I said, it was worth a try. I may go to a backup plan for streams on Sunday if my test flight on Saturday has the same issue. Because I do have a backup plan. While sticking with flight simulation. Always get more than feel. It's fine. Don't worry. I do have a backup plan for Sunday stream. Sticking with flight sims. And it'll be a very much a change of pace from what you're probably used to from me. Because I do have an emergency backup game. There's a flight sim that I could play that I love. I actually need to, real quick, just grab something from on top of my computer. There we go. I forgot to refill my e-cigarette. I also forgot that I had no refills. Flight Sim World, never again. No. Some King is bad. Some King is bad, and I'm aware that it's bad, Derp. And part of the part of my plans for my little break at the start of April is cold turkey. Cold turkey. Because I'll need to be off. I'll need to be off all nicotine for a couple of days to heal. And I figure if I'm off all nicotine for a couple of days to heal, I might as well just say screw it, go cold turkey and be just hell for a week. You eating cold turkey? Yes. In sandwiches. But no, I'm gonna go cold turkey on nicotine and suffer. But long-term gains beat short-term pains. Actually, same reason that I've gone for local anesthetics. That's short-term discomfort. But since it keeps me out of hospital. Yeah, cold turkey means just going from like normal to zero in like a day, which is my plan. And I'm fully aware that I'll be angry, but if I'm gonna be in pain anyway, I don't think it would matter too much. Double angry? Pretty much. For some going culture, it works for me, Yanis. How do I know this? When I've been trying to quit for the last 2 years because I've done it before. I've gone cold turkey before, it works. It's just... There's a reason I know I'll need like a week. Minimum. And it is just going to be getting the anger out. You might see me suddenly start chewing on pens when I come back after that little break, but it's, you know, it's gonna be better for my health. Should make an NFT reward and allowed to vape for 10 minutes. I maybe should in the build-up. But then I'd need somebody to referee that. Like, I'd need to... Oh, I could set up a timer. Okay, yeah, Luke. Give me a little bit. I'll get that worked out. The mods? I have a much better way that's a lot more reliable. What would be the penalty? That's kind of the thing, is like there would need to be a penalty if I fail. If I fail, Yanis or Alex or whatever mods are in, confer in the mod room for a couple of minutes. No, Luke, I've come up with a much better one. Whatever mods are in, confer in the mod room for a few minutes, and set out a poll. The poll would contain, like, rules that I would have to observe in-game for the rest of that day. For the rest of that stream. So, like, in Flight Sim, it'd be more difficult to come up with the rules, actually. But, like, Farm Sim, you can come up with, like, no hired workers or something like that. You know, punish me that way. And that way it becomes a part of the stream. Engine failure? Alex, you know that I could do that. You know that I could fly on one engine in most twin-engine planes. Land right now. Like, see, Luke, landing suddenly would be fun if I wasn't over water. No gear landing. Yeah, I guess there are stuff that you could throw at me in Flight Sim. What'd you miss? Not a whole lot, Chris. Luke suggested a new NFT reward. And I'm gonna work on implementing it over the next couple of days. Planning on ways to torture me as well. If you're just joining and wondering why on earth I'm talking about NFTs, it's because that's what I call channel points. Because channel points have just the same amount of worth as a real NFT, which is basically none. Fly but without playing. Derp. Why would you say that? Tour Dublin and the Velocity. That's not a plane. It's terrible, I hate it, but it's not a plane. I should probably check up on the Valtra is doing okay, that's fine. I require your work. Entire stream flying with only a keyboard. Transatlantic in the oh god, yeah, just fly the NX Cup would be punishment enough, Alex. Also, that is something that I think, well, not in the NX Cup, but I have done Transatlantic in a Cessna 172 before in Flight Sim, so. But there are things you could do to punish me, and you're right. In Flight Sim. No way should have tipped like that. I mean, it does have 3 tons of lime in the front. Fly this. I like the Cirrus Axe. Driver. Yeah, stuff like that, Luke. But it'd be the mods coming up with the rules, so they'd be like properly evil. Yeah, leave it with me for a bit. Because I need to set up stuff in OBS to do it. But I will implement that hopefully by the end of the week. What day is today? Is Wednesday. I may implement that on Saturday. Because I do need to download some stuff and get some stuff set up. Because I want a fair counting of 10 minutes for that. Cirrus can swim, you were just using it as a boat. GG. Hey Paul, Steam fan. What am I planning now? A new reward for using channel points on. Because Luke suggested, and we're just kind of theory crafting how it would work. I think, because hang on a second. You need to be down at the field. Hey, Buzz. You need to be down over at the field, my dude. So we're still working field 3 with the Viltra. However, it looks like we are actually producing an excess of lime, which is good. Big planes at a small airport. Yeah. Has a tooth? Still have it. For now. It's going to be with me until April 1st, and then it's going bye-bye. Let's stop you there. We'll pull the McCormick behind you real quick. Did Flash behave last night? No, she had me up until like 3:30. 3:30, chasing her around the house. Ginger did though, because he didn't want out until like 9 o'clock this morning. Simulate! Hello, Sim. Cheers for the Prime sub. Leave you there. I'll switch you off actually. Right, back to actually doing field work. That was technically field work also, I've just realised. Back to actually doing the line. Do a barrel bowl.
Do a barrel roll.
Simulon, have you been following wrestling? Have you been following the wrestling news by chance? Because AEW have made a couple of very... Why is my stream deck in another dimension? Because I rejigged where my computer is, and my stream deck now lives on a... now lives on a shelf. But Sim, have you been following wrestling? Because AEW have made a couple of very interesting signings. One of which has made me want to watch AEW again, which... Oh, you're following WWE? But AEW now have the Brian Kendrick and Danhausen. You might remember Danhausen as my actual favourite wrestler. So... I'm very pleased. Coffee boy. Yeah, yes, he does have his own roast of coffee. But he's one of those guys that, like, he has been working his butt off for the last few years. Hey, OSB. And, he's finally kind of got somewhere with it, and he's one of the biggest names they have immediately. Here you go, Alex. Did I hear the WWE news from Saturday? I heard that, by all accounts, the Royal Rumble was terrible. I like the movie Sully Years of Soup. I like Sully. They made the start of it with the flight deck scene a bit too dramatic. It's good. I mean, yeah, and I did see they had the Impact. They had Mickie James on, despite her being an Impact and all that. Yeah, that's what I mean, Alex. Like, they could have done a lot better with Sully. But yeah, with her Impact belt on hand, and Impact mentioned the lower third. I don't know if it should though, Alex. Because, like, that's just Master Warning. You can mute that by pressing the Master Warning button. And they would have done that almost immediately. Because that's just kind of an acknowledgement that there is a problem and you're aware of it. What did annoy me though, Alex, is that fairly sure in the movie it shows him turning on the autopilot and turning off the autopilot. There was no bip 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 or the boop 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 from Elena. Yeah, I'm genuinely glad that wrestling companies are working together now. Like, it's good for professional wrestling. Right. I'm coming up with a plan real quick here of what to do next, because there's a few things I want to do, a few things I want to get. I'm not surprised, to be honest, Sim. Like, they have been making a lot of signings from WWE. And arguably too many. I tend to agree with them. Like, I don't see why they'd sign Brian Kendrick. Like, he's good, but I don't think he's that good. They need to be a bit pickier. Like, if I was AEW, I wouldn't even sign Braun Strowman. Again, good, but kind of fills the same niche as Wardlow. Welcome back, Steam fan. He then Sim unretired and stayed for like 3 months and let his contract expire. But like, I think the Danhausen signing is good for AEW because they needed somebody with a bit of a wacky character so they could do some kind of more comedy stuff to appease that side of the internet. Yeah, to appease that side of the fan base. And Danhausen's character is just wacky enough to be wacky, but not so wacky as to be stupid. Whatever happens to Jimmy Havoc? I don't think he's going to come back from what I heard happened. Well, DC6 can't actually fly on 2 engines, Steam fan. It's a plane from before the era where you could run on like 1 engine. It can't run on 2. It can, but you'd be ruining the remaining 2. Okay, I've come up with a plan. You hear anything? I'll send it you on. Yeah, I'll send you on Facebook now. Emulate. There you go, sent. Oh, while I was doing that, I mounted a tree. How lovely. So, right. Yeah. We'll bring this over here, park it up. Then I'm actually going to go back down to the cow yard. I'm going to pick up the bale trailer and sell that off. Because I want to swap over to the Brown. Because swapping over to the Brown allows me... Hey, Felix Farming Life. Swapping over to the Brown again... Yes, that's... From memory, that's what happened. Also why I didn't say it on stream. There's some things that even without PG you just don't say. And yeah, that's one of them. Especially if it's based on the memory, which might be wrong. So we're gonna swap out the bale trailer for the Brown, because with the Brown, I believe 40 has added the ability to auto stack the Hestons, which would cause problems elsewhere. I was close. I knew it was something along those lines. And I still have Facebook open on my phone, so... Oh! It was just as bad, but different. Yeah, but yeah, that's like still a no-no thing. In any case, I think Darby Allin really fills the same niche and is better. So, very little downside to him being gone. To be fair, it was during a period, like that came out during a period where a lot of wrestlers were being accused of both that and the other thing. So, I'm not entirely surprised I got a bit kerfuddled. Yeah, this... I would have preferred it to be somebody else, especially after the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble. Like, I feel like it's a bit of a cop-out when you do effectively the same thing twice in the same night. This isn't the Brown, is it? No, it's the Pong... My Instagram. Technically, yes. Actually, no. I have an account. That would have been a much better... That would have been a much better ending, because apparently the storyline was heading towards, like, the two of them facing off for the title at Mania. Because it's WWE and tag teams are not allowed to stay together for too long. I'll need to check on the Walter Valmet again in a second. You've had a semi-refund. I'll be honest, and I mean as little disrespect as possible here, Sim. With what I've been hearing about WWE, and I've not watched the shows at all lately. I don't know how you can still watch it, because it just seems to be getting worse and worse from what I could hear. That said, you like what you like. I don't... It doesn't affect me, so it doesn't bother me. Yeah, we'll sell this, yes. I'm doing good, Felix. How are you? Sell this by... I am replacing effectively like for like here, but... So does this one have auto load? Yeah, with pallets, please. And... What happens if I put my own license? Okay, sweet. It covers up the in-game one. There we go. It's a cool looking trailer. It's by 4D modding. I will be tweaking it slightly here. No. No, I want ramps. I want to be going this way. Sorry. I'm getting confused. Because there are metal options as well, and that's why I'm continuing to go through here. Oh, apparently not. Go ramps and creel. I like the big creel on the front. Is this? Ah, this is the metal version. Oh, I could have gone through this way and it would have been a lot faster. Okay. Standard full load. Ramps and creel one, I guess. I'm presuming the ramps mean this can be used for vehicles. Is it on console? No, 4D. He goes a bit loopy with the. How do you put down the ramps then? Because I got it with ramps as a config. I'm gonna edit it to just have the big creels. I like the big creels. Looks a bit more legit with bales on it then. So let's do this and this. We'll just go creel. Yeah, creel 5. There we go. Ah! There is a problem with the bindings. Wait, can this only pick up pallets now? This might only be able to pick up pallets. Figure it out in a minute. There's a problem with the bindings though, because it makes me bring up the start menu every time I try and change. That's wonderful. It's showing bail, so I'm presuming it still does bailout already. You're gonna live down in the silage pit by the cow yard, and I definitely should check on the. Yep, stop. You. Glad I checked on the Valtra. I will need to manually de-stone part of the field, that's fine. But getting the hired worker to do the vast majority will just Save the bother. Any deal for multiplayer? Paul, it basically, I'm waiting for a non-make your own map kind of map to come out. That's obviously not Calmsden, and is on console, and then we'll go for a yeah, we'll go for a cross. We'll go for what is it, crossplay multiplayer, whatever they're calling it thing. I do want to do multiplayer. I just want it to be crossplay. Right. Back to you. You're not blocked by an object. Off you go. We can stop you again, and I mean, there's not a whole lot I can do at the moment. Yeah, we're kind of we're in an awkward spot here. We're kind of in between jobs ish. I do need to be aware that I need to get some money together as well fairly soon. Actually, what I could do is... yeah, let's do that. Let's get a skid steer bucket. Brush and log fork. Oh, very fancy. Skid steer manure fork. Buy that. Crossplay is the main term used in this giant. Yeah, it's crossplay. I just forgot the word for it. This can go right on top of the thing here. And yeah, this is totally just a... skid steer attacher. What I want to do is I want to at least have the ability to move manure out of the cows. Thought there was a teleskid for a second there. Sorry, what, Alex? Oh, you thought this was a skid steer, not like forklift style. It's still, honestly, really useful. Yeah, this is probably going to replace any use of forklifts I would have. Despite the fact that even full beans, it's quite slow. It's a baby teleporter. Which is, I would argue, more useful than an actual one steam fan, because it can get into tighter spots. Like, this is intended as kind of a forklift. Hence the forklift style steering at the back. So I'm just waiting for the hired worker to say he's done. And then we'll take manual control over that. That's a really cool beacon. Then we'll take manual control over the de-stoning efforts. They're called teleporters in Ireland for reasons. I'm not sure what the reasons are, but they're called teleporters here. I think when I got stuck... There's no AI that are stuck, because I've only got the one hired worker on the go. Might need a bigger slurry store. Possibly. I did see that there's a bug in the current version of the map where the slurry store doesn't act... The slurry pit doesn't actually have an animation, so you can't see how full it is. It's called a telehandler now. Depends on what part you're from. Where I'm from, it's a teleporter. Or a big yoke. It's a load all. I would argue the other JCB is a load all. But yeah, load all is a good catch-all term for JCBs. JCB things like this. Standard size load all. Yeah. This I would say is not a load all. It's a dinky thing. It's dinky, but like it does what I need it to. So like, did I buy a manure spreader out of curiosity? I'm trying to refresh my own memory here. I did. I did. I won't have enough manure to do a field though, so we'll just kind of leave it be for now. Yeah, I'd call this like a mini stacker kind of device. And that's basically what I'm going to be using it for, is bale stacking. Just dealing with bales in and around the animal yard, because with the cow yard, because I see no reason not to. It does sound bad, yes. Teleporters are normally bigger. I mean, I've got a teleporter over the other yard. This is basically just an animal handling doohickey. This is just to do the rough work around the cows. Which is why I don't mind it being slow as a wet week. Like, it's got basically 0 turning circle. That's kind of what I'm looking for in a vehicle to do with the cows. Expect to see this on many maps, by the way. Because I do genuinely find it useful. Okay, Yanis, you were correct. Hang on, he's only stuck because he turned the wrong bloody way. Oh, it's doing the thing again. Right, I'll manually finish this field. I'm gonna get this down to the cow yard first. Yes, yes, you told me so. Blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah. Wait, can I... Can I buy manure for this? Like, I've got 1700 liters. What is this trigger for? Is this so that I could, like, fill... I'm not sure what it's for. Also, it looks like there's... It looks like I have to manually muck out the cows a bit still. Can you stop the AI from turning the wrong way? No. That's why I said I've got to do this manually. I mean, there's a way, and it's just start the AI from the other direction, but... The field is so close to done that I don't think it matters that I start the AI from the other direction. Because this is just going to be kind of a cleanup job now. It's going to be, what, 4 or 5 passes and then the bits the AI inexplicably skipped. I only have 20 days left to deal with your top tier tips and tricks of gaming. Why? Is there a Destiny event happening, Yanis? That you're counting down to stuff? Are you going to be giving Sony more money? Big expansion drops to 22nd, you're playing them, like, do I play Fortnite? Hell no! You already gave Bungie your money, so yes, you already gave Sony your money. Good. I like how... I should mention this. Bungie was originally a Microsoft studio. And, like, Microsoft screwed them over, so they went independent again. And now they've decided to let Sony buy them. So, like, they clearly didn't learn from being bought out the first time. Either that, or they did, and Sony offered them so much money that they figured, ah, screw it, we'll take the money. Because, like, Bungie were the guys that developed Halo. Bungie is the bear from reading Rainbow. Or Rainbow, or whatever, I don't know. After 3.6 billion. That's screwed, we'll take the money. Yeah, that... I can understand that now. Wordle will be paid from the start of next month. Do you know what, Alex? It will be paid eventually. That's the thing. It's New York Times. They don't really care about people who don't give them money. Like, their whole thing was, it'll initially be free to play. I would just look at that and I'm like, yeah, for how long is this initial period? Until you start throwing ads every 5 minutes, scraping data, asking, you know, demanding people subscribe just for Wordle. It's like, they don't understand the whole point, which is people play it because there's no ads or anything. It's just harmless fun with no data scraping. Bungie will keep full control of IP for now and remain multi-platform for now. And I'm not saying that it's going to happen immediately, Ennis, but what I am saying is I don't trust multi-billion-dollar corporations. And neither should you. It says the person who is planning on giving Sony money for Gran Turismo 5, or Gran Turismo 7 if it comes to PC, but still. That said, if they do the thing they tend to do, which is like give it a year or two's delay, I'll watch some Let's Plays of Gran Turismo 7 on PS5 or PS4. And be able to know whether or not I want it on PC, because I'll know at that point whether it's good or not. Because I knows what I wants from me Gran Turismo games. I should mention, actually, I teased this earlier, I never kind of brought it to a conclusion. If Microsoft Flight Sim is just derped for me, and doesn't run smoothly. My sister's using her mobile hotspot again. If Microsoft Flight Sim is screwed for me, by the way, my backup plan for Sunday's stream is IL-2 Sturmovik, which is it's a game from like 2006 or something, but very enjoyable and a flight sim, but also it's got guns. And I'll do a dynamic campaign on it. Probably as the Russians. Because I like the Russians, in IL-2 at least. I may play as the Germans though. As bad as they were, they have nice planes. It's quite fun. Looks like Sony wants the movies and shows Bungie's creating and their multi-platform tech. Yeah. I do have DCS, Alex, because it's free to play. So I have the free to play stuff from DCS. I'm just not good in DCS. At least IL-2 Sturmovik has... I might actually do one of the IL-2 campaigns. The ones that actually feature the IL-2. Remember when I tried that Transport Fever stream? Yeah. I don't mind the Sunday streams being dead, though. They're kind of streams just for me so that I can play games that I like. Like, that's the whole point of the weekend streams being different games. It's kind of a breath of fresh air to keep me fresh with Farm Sim, and also kind of see what people like me playing. So that if ever I have, you know, a lot more free time, I could massively extend the stream, have a couple hours of Farm Sim, but also do like a few hours of a different game. Kind of using the streams as focus groups to figure out what games those might be. Still don't know how the AI missed these bits. Because they're not exactly small. Unfortunately, missing these bits means I do need to do a lap of the field at the very end just to make sure I've got everything. Although I don't need to do a lap of the field. First lockdown, Meister McCarran I've beaten. That was good fun. And again, if I get kind of a bit more free time and some free time at night where I'm not trying to push to get stuff done or kind of just have some relaxation time, the Meister Makar will probably return where I just drop all semblance of PG and play Meister Makar. Right, there is a bit over this side of the field that's missed. It's actually a bit just up here. Do you know what else would return? Because I've just realized the problem that I was having with it will be resolved by now. If I get a bit more free time, and it might return on weekend streams. I'd start a new game, but The Adventures of Chungus Humongous. I'd create a new Chungus, but he would still be Chungus Humongous. The profile pic on... Yeah, Alex, do you have a picture of, like, adult Chungus? Because I would create that exact character again and just restart. Because I think I've still got the save, but I have no idea where it went. I have no idea what I was doing with it. Maybe a clip of it? Possibly. I mean, to be fair, Axe, all you've got to do is look for Chungus in the clips. But there are a few different games that I'd like to stream as kind of tests. And that's part of the reason I got Saturdays open to streaming. If I get enough done during the week to actually not have to do anything on a Saturday. Right. Let's empty you. How much power does my seeder require? Uh, 240. You found that. Do I want to click on that right now, Alex? Because like I don't have Edge open, so that would open Edge and cause all sorts of chaos. Oh, the original Mr. Potato Head thing. Hey. Mr. Potato Head in the episode stream, yes. I was eating it, I had Mr. Potato Head mind the stream for a bit. To be fair, it's a joke that I stole from Jimmy with the Tom reading the newspaper thing. But I think that swapping it out and giving it my own little... Oh, I have an idea for if I need to do that again. I've had an idea. It's a good idea. But it shall remain a secret. Right, so what I need to do with this lot is... What do I need to do with this lot? I can have the McCormick running the... Maybe try squaring the fields off before setting the AI. The AI will always struggle on fields on a map like this. It's not something that I could easily fix. Because the AI is basically set up to work square fields. Now is Morris. Do I want to know what Morris is? Or Maurice? Right, we got 21,000 liters of lime already in here. Wonderful. It's a stuffed bear. Oh, is that what the weird pictures of the teddy bear were about? Okay. I've not been able to watch Jimmer's through the night segments lately. I've been generally a bit busy either trying to get a good night's sleep or minding Flash. And seeing as they're usually on Saturday nights, minding Flash. Come on. I'm doing really badly with this all of a sudden. Go. This trailer can stay up here. Because it's the trailer for all the stuff what happens up there, like. Right, I actually want to test something here real quick, because I did see something odd in the cow pen. And it looked like we actually need to do some mucking out of the cows. Now, does this have a way into the cows? No. So there's only one way in. Yeah, okay. Let's zoom in so the camera doesn't give somebody an epileptic fit. Yeah, no, apparently that's just a texture that is in this shed. That's fine, I guess. Right. Onwards to getting some work done now. Random texture looks like a turd. Yeah. Apparently it's just a random texture. That coincidentally looks exactly like a cow pad. We're in the cow shed. Exactly where you'd expect to see cow turds. Can't be bothered loading farm sim, you believe me. Yeah. I've just realized don't necessarily need to do this today. Does that make it a turdy texture? Sure, Steam fan. It makes it a turdy texture. Let's, instead of doing the same thing we've been doing for the last 2 days, let's get some seeding started in field 2. Because I think we can start putting canola in. Yeah, we can definitely have canola in. Today is a Tuesday. No, it is not. It is Wednesday. The 22nd is Tuesday, and it's a Tuesday. Tuesday, the Tuesday. Oh, yeah. You've unintentionally reminded me, Annis. On the webcam's a bit wonky. On the 10th, stream is unlikely. My sister's got an appointment in Cork at the dentist. So, we'll just call a stream unlikely for the 10th. Today is 2/2/2022. Yeah, but the 22nd is on a Tuesday. Right, can I fill from this? What did I fill with seeds? Oh, 16 FPS now. Wow. I filled something with seeds. I distinctly remember buying a butt ton of seeds. That's liquid fur. That's seeds. Why can I not get the seeds out of the silo then? Is it because I didn't have the cover open? It's because I didn't have the cover open. Am I not impressed? I mean, you've got a whole extra 10 FPS, but it's still not a good frame rate. It's nowhere near what I'd want to be streaming with. Because, like, streaming takes some of the frames away anyway. The extremely rare Dave actually using a reasonably sized seeder. Which still, because of the size of the field, looks small. There we go. This is gonna be a little while, isn't it? And I'm very likely to need to sell more crop to get the cotton out of field, whatever it was. Field 23. I mean, on the bright side, this thing conceded 18 kph, so it can at least go a reasonable speediness. And because it's canola, it's taking like no seeds whatsoever. I do like the seed rebalance Giants did. It Why were there stones there? Oh well. Yeah, this shouldn't need a refill, at least. I was going to say it shouldn't take too long. No, it'll take a while. Hang on a second. Woo, wait. Just remembered, I forgot to buy the most important thing of the day. I forgot to put it... forgot to turn it on. Forgot to put it on. That is really loud in my ears. I forgot to put the Profi Hopper in. Janice, I forgot the Profi Hopper. That's genuinely made me feel a bit sad. There's Nerdcube says womp womp. The Profi Hopper, yes. But yeah, I'll be likely using the Profi Hopper to do dumb stuff in the very near future. I say that. I'm going to be using the Profi Hopper to clean up the yard a bit. I kind of like having the yard be mown nice and short. Or mowed nice and short. Hydrate? Okay. Doesn't bother me, Massey. I went through that full bottle in like an hour the other night. I go through periods where I get extremely thirsty and just drink endless water. And then regret it because water. Hey, Mossy. Dave's Lawn Services returns. Pretty much, Steam fan. But no, I actually wanted to see how much it costs. Because I do have a couple of ideas of things I could do with it. So to crawl back down to less stupid prices. Yeah, but they're still a couple of years away from being an actual, you know, sane price. Where they're not 3 times the, their actual worth. I would also imagine with Ethereum still being a thing, they'll actually probably crawl back up. Especially as more idiots keep pushing NFTs on people. On that note, I would wish a very much go broke to all NFT owners. You're gonna waste your money on that. You shouldn't. You don't deserve money. Current trend, it's more or less looking like this year. Also, Ethereum is changing how it works, so it's moving away from mining. Currently, unironically listening to the horse song. Where did you go wrong? Listening to it in the first place, because it is a legitimately good song. That's the annoying thing, Alex, is like, all of the lyrics are hideous. But it's a really good song? And it's difficult to not like it. Pretty much, Alex, yeah. I must send it to Simulon if he comes on TeamSpeak later. He'll probably regret it, but hey. Dan Kayanis. You send it to Matt. Oh God. For a reason that you can't say outside of PMs. Is it in response to something Matt said, by any chance? Because Matt has said some really odd things to me. Doesn't help chip manufacturers are only making to order, so they're only making to order because they're making to order because of car manufacturers, Steam fan. Basically, car manufacturers use just-in-time delivery, which meant that when people weren't buying cars during COVID, they weren't producing cars, which meant they weren't ordering chips for the cars. And when people started buying cars again, suddenly they didn't have the chips they needed. So they started ordering chips again, which meant the chip factories had to start up again, which took a little bit of time. And then when they started ordering chips, they started ordering more chips than the factories could put out. And between that and people just ordering stuff on eBay and Amazon instead of going to the shops because they were closed, the global shipping crisis happened. That's the long and the short of it. The global shipping crisis was effectively caused by COVID. Hang on, need to grab Discord real quick. Oh, I see. There's still a container shortage because, long story short, the ships don't want to take empty containers on in the US, which is where all the empty containers are. Either that or there's something either they don't want to take them on or the US isn't letting them take them on. But there's a butt ton of empty containers in California and along the west coast of the US that were from China originally. The Ever Given didn't really have much to do with the shipping crisis, though. That's the weird thing. Like, yeah, it caused, you know, additional delays, but those are kind of sorted a couple of weeks after it was moved. Like the Ever Given didn't really cause anything, except like a little blip. You know, this Cedar's doing a way faster job than I'd expected. Also, we're definitely not going to need to refill this thing. Whatever rebalance Giants gave to seeds is hilariously good. I love it. Especially canola. They can't get people to work in the container yards either. Yeah. I mean, there's a way they could get people to work in the container yards. It's just not the way that corporate wants to do it. It's the same as the reason like fast food restaurants in the US are having problems holding staff. It's because they're not getting paid enough to do the work. People want to work, but they also don't want to get paid a pittance. Yeah, people want to work, but also want to maybe, you know, have a life outside of work that money is required for, and work doesn't give the money that is required. So people are trying to be responsible and quitting their jobs because corporate ain't giving money, and corporate are blaming the people for not wanting to work. Better paid work. Not even less hours. Well, quite often less hours because of the US. But, like, not even less hours, just better payment for the work, for the hours they work. I mean, unemployment pays more than work by work. True. Yeah, Steam Fan, I think you're getting what I'm kind of pointing out is like the cost of living is so high that the kind of like McDonald's jobs can't really suffice as a job anymore. That's kind of the problem. If you work at minimum wage, you can't afford to live. At least not reasonably. The hours in food are brutal, but like if people are paid fairly, they'll work. That's kind of the key. The housing market everywhere is Yanis. Or at least in the UK and Ireland, which are my two data points. Yeah. Salty Sim 4 now is workable VNAV. It's actually good, worth a test flight. I may... Not food, shipping. I mean, shipping has the same problem as food. It's actually got a worse problem because people don't want to pay for shipping. I might try the Salty 7.4 out some Saturday, Alex. Saturdays tend to be my catch up on everything that I couldn't do during the week kind of day, so it tends to involve at least an hour or two of me just sorting out my room a bit. Because I try and get all the work done during the week so that I can relax on the weekends. Kind of means my room ends up in a bit of a state. But, oh well. There's a part of me that wants an even bigger cedar still. I kind of feel like we could go bigger with the cedar and not really regret. This is, I think, 9 meters? Let's see how big the cedar is and see how big we could go. So this cedar is 8 meters. How big could we go? Because the tractor's got 310 horse. Bigger is better by 2. So we got this. No, we don't have this one. We got this one. Oh, we could go all the way up to the Sighton. Can you guys tell that I'm preparing for my usual playstyle? My birth looking at a 9 meter cedar. An extra meter won't do a huge amount of difference. What would make a big difference is like an extra 2 or 3. So I'd be looking at like 10 to 12 meter cedars. Problem is I don't really have the money to do that at the moment. Like, I'm holding off for the actually, when does the price come good on these? Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for about January time. Then I'll have a look at getting a bigger cedar. Yeah, to be a 12 meter I'm looking at. I think the stream's got a bit of a delay going now because of the GD. Thanks for the raid, my dude. You join me, everybody from GD stream, as my internet's having a bit of a fit. And we're dealing with endless doing the same jobs, unfortunately, because good God, these fields are big, and I've come up with a dumb idea of trying to produce everything I'll ever need from the crops. Because I've got that, you know, that multi-production silo on the mod hub. I realized that with that you can actually make a completely self-sufficient farm. If you combine that with a weeder and keep on top of the weeds, you can actually have a completely self-sufficient farm that you never actually need to buy seeds or fertilizer for. Assuming you do like cows or pigs. Oh, Windy God and Farmer Tomo and GD, hello. Many thanks for the raid, GD. Guys, go over and follow GD if you don't already. He's a good guy. Kind of surprised you finished this early. Usually the raids go the other direction. So, sit rep on what I'm doing here is I am trying to make a self-sufficient farm, which means that I'm hiring workers, but trying to do, like, I'm not trying to automate. I will need a, yeah, I'll need a potato field at some point to produce the mineral feed. How far away am I from going full self-sufficient? Just doing some tests to finish early. It's nice to be able to pay all the raise I gave you. Yeah. I'm likely to finish fairly soon, though, which kind of sucks. And you won't be getting any raids for like the first week in April. Because I'll be AFK. Well, I'll be probably in front of my computer, but not capable of streaming. That's when I'm going to get a tooth removed surgically, and I will be in pain. And I've already been told I won't be allowed to vape or do anything involving nicotine, so I'm going to be angry. Streaming in that condition, not a good idea. Field 23 might be a perfect potato field. I was thinking more along the lines of Field 8 Steam Fan. Maybe I'll be as high as carry meds. I mean, it'll be painkillers, but I'll still be angry, because... Trust me, I'll be angry. I've had experience, and I know I'll be angry. Get some patches? No, it's the nicotine itself that I won't be allowed, Polly. That's the thing. Yeah, that's it, GD. Plus, it'll give me time to kind of work on other stuff. So that, like, I don't mind. Field 8 would probably be a better shout, because I don't want a huge field of potatoes that'll take a week to harvest. That's kind of the problem, is I don't want to have, like, Field 23 and then spend a week harvesting it, even with a hired worker. Why no nicotine? Good question. The answer is that it interacts with nicotinic receptors. There are actual nicotine receptors in your body. Nicotine is a legitimate thing that your body produces. But the nicotinic receptors in your body, that's not something your body produces. It's something your body can interact with. The human body has developed this. And it actually results in lower blood blood pressure and a slight thinning of the blood, which if you've had a surgery recently is not good. It's not conducive to healing quickly. Yeah, alright, GD. The rest of the stream might not be very long, because I'm expecting dinner to appear sometime soon. I'm going to try and finish this field, though. Enjoy the rest of your day, dude. Sorry that I keep, like, ghosting you with raids. But I need to take down the green screen behind me every day. What you guys can't see is, like, half of my room is green screen right now. But it's better than using, those AI ones. Like, the AI ones are good. I'm not gonna knock them. Used it for an age. But green screen is better, because I don't have to deal with stuff randomly disappearing unless it's green. Right, we're $6,000. You know, I'm tempted to... This is gonna sound kind of silly. I'm tempted to hire a worker to do the rest of this. And, actually... I want to check some settings here, real quick. Because it just occurred to me that I might not have my hired workers set up correctly. Off, 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 off. Off. Good. Yes, the hired workers are working as cheaply as possible. Let's hire a worker for that. Warfarin is pelletized rattlesnake venom. Yep. It's pelletized rattlesnake venom because they figured out that's exactly what rattlesnake venom does. It's an anticoagulant. That's why rattlesnake venom is so dangerous. like it is it it's either an anticoagulant or it lowers your blood pressure or like how fast your heart beats. And yeah, most medicines are like random toxins that we figured out can actually be useful in certain situations. For those of you coming from GD stream, I should mention, I am a scientist by education, so I have this ridiculous repository of weird medical facts or weird scientific facts. Let's see, what's a fun one? Viagra was originally intended to actually be a medication to do with high blood pressure. They found out that it had the side effect that it is now used for, and figured it would probably be more profitable to use it for that side effect than actually for high blood pressure. There's a tree bark that works as aspirin. You'll probably find, Janice, aspirin is synthesized version of that tree bark. For the longest time, here's a fun one. For the longest time, type 1 diabetics were treated with insulin that was taken from pigs because it's close enough to human insulin to actually work. Tree bark that works as aspirin. Tree bark contains acetic acid. Yeah, no, the tree bark would aspirin would be a synthesized version of that tree bark. Just thinking about it now, because that's how most medications are found. Is they find something that is used somewhere in the world and produces a certain effect, and realize that it could be useful medically. Or in the case of Botox, they found a toxin that paralyzes your face and realized it came with the side effect that it makes you look slightly younger if you inject just the right amount. Botox, I should mention, is a neurotoxin. If you don't know what a neurotoxin is, it's something that literally, like, if you have too much Botox at once, it will kill your brain. Your brain will just stop functioning. Don't go finding rattlesnakes with one elbow. Yeah. Hey, farming boy, how you doing today, dude? Botox is rat poison? I don't think it is. I'm doing okay, farming boy. Having a middling to good day. Got a lot done this morning. Got to get it done after the stream. I'm gonna have a bit of a longer period of relax time than usual tonight, I've decided. Willow bark contains a chemical very similar to aspirin, so it contains something very similar to salicylic acid. Remember how I said I'm a scientist? Yeah. Yeah, no, it's aspirin is salicylic acid. Although just generally known as aspirin. I must look into that though, yes. I didn't know about this. What I do know is that aspirin was invented in, if memory serves, invented in Germany in the late 30s. I think the marketplace in Flight Sim is broken. Possibly. Flight Sim is a bit breaky at the moment. Let me just... check the Wikipedia. Aspirin. My bad. It was discovered in 1897 and started being sold in 1899. What you want is Spitfire, give you Spitfire now. Farming Boy, see if it's on Sim Market. Sim Market or JustFlight. I think it's .co.uk or .com. Sim Market and JustFlight are the two kind of best non-Microsoft owned flight sim marketplaces. They tend to have a lot of good payware. And they tend to update a bit earlier than the marketplace does, because the marketplace is down to whenever Microsoft decides to update it. So like I could have something from Sim Market that updates a week before the marketplace version. Someone's working on... Oh, okay, I would appreciate that. 2011 was the V8s with blown diffusers? Was 2011 one of the years of the blown diffuser? I want to say it was. Yes. It's ridiculous that I'm better at remembering Formula 1 from the 80s than I am stuff from just like 11 years ago. Considering I was alive 11 years ago, I wasn't alive in the 80s. The video that sound mega. Ooh, please link it in DMs to me. Yes, like I kind of want to see this. Because those V8s sounded quite nice back in the day. So far the ETA is sometime this month. Nice. To be fair, I probably wouldn't play with it for a long ass time because I'd need to dig out my pedals. I'm storing a random assortment of junk under my desk to try and discourage Flash from going under there. JustFlight, Farming Boy. If you search JustFlight, you'll find it pretty quickly. JustFlight is the one that I tend to use, but I have been known to also use Sim Market because they do have slightly different ranges. Sweet. I'll watch that probably while I'm having my dinner. Honestly, it sounds like a really good thing to watch over dinner. Then I'll swap over to my usual evening watching of space streams. RSS, oh, RSS, yes. You know, honestly, I'd probably go for Race Sim Studios version if it's like they're using the 2011 rulebook. Because Race Sim Studios designed their own bespoke cars for it. Which is kind of cool. They look at the rulebook and design a car that fits those rules. Which is different to everybody else who just makes like a car that already exists. RSS kind of have the right idea because they're not potentially running into copyright problems. The sound of the RSS will be pre-owned with users, so sometime between 2006 and 2010. You're back, you've stopped bleeding. Congratulations, Alex. Wasn't anticipating getting through the line this quickly on this field, to be honest. Because, yeah, if I'd known it'd be this fast, I would have actually done the liming. You're attempting another recording. Oh god. This will end badly. Let's open the cover. Because I'll be going straight over to refill this. There we go. I'm just gonna cut through the hedges, screw it. The hired worker in field 2 is making really nice work of it though. From what I can see, it's not actually missed a spot. Although I get the feeling that with it aggressively coming up on one side, it's going to get angry very soon. You want your Spitfire? You have to be patient then. Try, Farmer Boy, try looking for Flying Iron simulations on site, because if that's who's making it, they tend to sell on their own site, but they may move marketplace only for Flight Sim, for MSFS. Which is the cleaner form of shipping, transport? Which is the cleaner form of transport, shipping or planes? It depends on, Oh, hey, look, Alex has found it, Free Farming Boy. You're welcome. There are always ways around problems, Farming Boy. It's just knowing what those ways are can be a bit daunting when you're new to flight sims. It's your first playware. Yeah, that's kind of my point, is like, payware can be confusing. And another point, Farming Boy, hopefully before you make the purchase, is that the Spitfire is actually quite difficult to fly. like, historically, it's a difficult plane to fly. It has a habit of torquing very hard to, I believe, the right on takeoff. And it's a tail dragger, so you got to be careful with the brakes. It also, is that a Mark 9? It is a Mark 9. Yeah, that'll be very nippy with the roll as well. Won't be one of the early ones where you couldn't actually dip the nose too quickly. And hey, Destroy Gamings. If you hold the brakes and go full throttle, flaps over. Yeah. Axe, do you have that spit? Like, legit question, because I want to know if it does the hideous torque turning. Oh god, clipped wing spits, no. Yeah. You do. Does it torque turn if you go full throttle too quickly? Inherently unstable. They're actually steam fan. No, they're very stable in flight. Probably. Yeah, because I had a Spitfire for X-Plane. I technically still do. And I distinctly recall having to hard over one side of the rudder, and I can't remember which it was when I was taking off. And also, you can't put in full power straight away. You can't just slam the throttle forward because it would just nose over. The Merlin was so ridiculously powerful for a fighter, or even a plane of that size, because the Spitfires are quite light, as planes went back then. The Spitfire is a very light plane, so the Merlin was very much overkill, which is why it had such good performance. You had to very slowly ramp up the throttle to about 80%, and you couldn't get 100% throttle until you were actually in the air. It's going to be a fun plane to try and fly. Pretty much, Farming Boy, yeah. She was a handful to spit. A lot of World War II fighters had the torque steer problem, though. Because the torquing was because... Okay, here's where I get to talk about physics real quick. World War II fighters and all single propeller planes have an issue with torque steer, where because there's only one propeller turning in one direction, it's putting in a centrifugal force in through the entire plane that has a habit of moving the tail wheel around. And actually making the plane spin around one axis. So with World War II fighters and most single engine planes, you actually have to put in a bit of rudder to get it to go in a straight line. If it's particularly powerful. Stuff like a Cessna 172, you won't have that much issue. Q400 rolls left. Why does the Q400... The Q400 rolls left because it doesn't have counter-rotating props. Because both... Yeah, it doesn't have counter-rotating props. That's a really dumb way to build a twin-engine plane. Building something with two engines, they're both propeller engines, you have one spin the opposite direction to the other. Because that way the torque from, let's say, the left engine cancels out the torque from the right engine. That's actually why if you look at... what's a good example of this? The Russian Bear Bomber. That's designed to go stupid fast, but it's a propeller plane. It actually has 2 sets of propellers attached to every engine. And they spin in opposite directions, so that each engine, its own torque is the torque on every propeller is counteracted by the other propeller. Hey James, long time no see indeed, my dude. I do remember you. Coming up at the tail end of the stream, though, just FYI. Not to be rude, but like I was meant to end 20 minutes ago, but I started late, so I'm finishing late. Cheers for the Prime sub, James. How's things been? They've been better. They've been better. I've not been sleeping great lately because of Flash. Like, I'm feeling mostly good. Got a minor procedure scheduled for the start of April to get rid of a wisdom tooth that is growing in at a... It's impacted. It's growing in at the wrong angle. How wrong is the angle? About 30 degrees into another tooth. So to save the other tooth, the wisdom tooth needs to go because they both have cavities, and yeah. You can't fill one without getting rid of the other. Have I given up the e-cig yet? No, that's going to happen in April most likely. I'm going to go cold turkey because I'll be discouraged from smoking while recovering. It'll be a 15-minute procedure, but I'll still have some stitches in, so I'll not be allowed to smoke afterwards for a couple of days, so I'm going to use that as an excuse to just say, yep, done. The bear has 8 individual props, 4 counter-rotating ones. And that's why planes interest me so much, because you can learn a surprising amount of physics just from the way planes are built. Because you look at them and you're like, oh, that's a really interesting design. And then you find yourself thinking, or at least I do, why does it look like that? Like, why did the Concorde have the delta wings? Well, because delta wings are actually the best wings to have good supersonic performance. They're not the greatest at low speed, which is why Concorde wasn't great at low speed and actually had to land at stupid fast speeds. It's also why Concorde needed such a ridiculous angle of attack. It was actually as slow as it could go on landing. How's the Twitch been? Pretty good. Quiet streams of a decent bit. Streams have been a bit quieter than I'd like, but that happens. I've been doing weird experimental stuff again. I was kind of expecting streams to be a bit quieter. All of our stuff is about new. Woodford Aerodrome, yeah. They still have the old hangar there, don't they? Fisher, hello. It's now housing... Oh. You really want to play this. You don't want to have to start a new game when the update comes out. I'm kind of in that same state, Eloise. But what I can do is I can just cheat my way up to being where I basically am right now. You should get a download code sent to you or something, Farming Boy. I'm not sure how Flying Iron does it. That's a damn shame, because, like, I know the money wouldn't be there, but it would be awesome if they could do, can't do that on Peasant Console, yeah. The way I see it always is, and you might disagree here, there's no harm in starting a save, learning the map, and then starting over, having, like, learned how the map works, and learned your way around. Because then you'll know how to quickly get around. You'll actually have a much better start if you already know the map. Like, I'm quickly learning that 8 or 9 meter cedars are actually too small. I should have something even bigger, but don't have the ability to do that. There should be lime in the stone crusher, actually. I might, yeah, let's refill from the stone crusher, see how much is there. 25 times just playing a bit of COD to the update. The update might be in a couple of weeks, Eloise. That's the thing. Farming Boy, I will say, you might be a bit shocked at what payware is like. There's a reason I tend to go for payware planes in Flight Sim. Because the quality, generally speaking, I can't speak for Flying Iron, but they specialized in old warplanes. Quality of payware tends to be quite high. Even the stuff that I would regard as bad is quite good quality. Like, I just have very high standards. In a good or a bad, good way. Like, I love the Mooney that I have, but it's not great. It's not very good on a payware scale. The Cherokee I have, the Piper that I have, is fantastic though. Just Flight do a fantastic job at light aircraft. Actually, they do a good job generally. I'm looking forward for their RJ coming in, because I've always wanted an RJ in Flight Sim. And it will be here sooner rather than later. Well, they've already mostly got it in. I think they're just doing testing and finishing up work and making sure it integrates properly now. So what time is it? 7:30. I think it's actually time for me to end the stream, because I do have a small bit that I want to get done this evening. I need to take the green screen down, and that takes a little bit. So let's find somebody to raid here. Oh, it's opened up this one. Right, that's slightly inconvenient. Think about getting more into Flight Sim. Learn to land, Farming Boy. That might sound like I'm being rude, but genuinely, learn to land, you'll have a lot more fun. Let's send you guys over to Johnny, I think. Oh, there's no B in it. There we go. Hopefully I spelled that right. Let's send you guys over to Johnny. I'll be back tomorrow. Should be tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. With more of the same, and we'll hopefully get we'll get the seeding done. We'll get the green screens. Immersion ruined. We'll get the seeding done. We'll get the... Why is it not telling me how long until the raid? Did that not work? I can't send off the raid. Hang on, what? I already have the raid in project. It's going to send you guys at some point. Until next time, stay safe and goodbye.